What you've been missing seeing from them?
Aggressiveness, balance, right? Urgency. That's what I haven't seen out of the Celtics. This is a team that I thought had a legit shot to go to the finals before the season. I have not seen enough nights like this to convince me. Hopefully this kick starts something. Specifically what I saw in this one. One, I saw a great rebounding effort. This is a team that plays smaller lineups. They're not very good on the glass. They out-rebounded the Lakers, who have one of the biggest front lines in the entire league, by 10. And also, Jason Tatum. I think there needs to be more nights where he's their best offensive player, because I know what I'm getting out of Kemba Walker.
We know that Damian Lillard is always going to, I can't say his name, Damian Lillard is always going to bring it. 61 last night, but they're still 2 games out of the playoffs in the West. What do you need to see from them to get them back in, Tim?
Well, they made a trade. Trevor Ariza coming in, I like it. He helps their perimeter defense when they play smaller now. They have another guy that can defend multiple positions. Their schedule is brutal, Sage. That's what's going to determine if they can make a run here. They have 11 games before the All-Star break, 8 of them against Western Conference playoff teams and 2 Eastern Conference teams. So 10 out of 11, that's going to be a tough thing to overcome.
The Rockets blew another late lead to the Thunder. Harden just 1 for 17 from 3, Tim.
Yeah, he's missed 73s in his last 7 games. And I think he is so intent.
That's insane.
He's so intent on getting himself going that I think he needs to focus a little bit more right now on maybe trying to facilitate the game for other people, letting it come to him a little bit more. I know that's not their style. That's not his MO. But right now, that may be what it takes, because these nights when he is taking all these difficult shots and shooting the percentages that he has over the last 2 weeks, it gives their team no chance to win. I think he needs to focus more on facilitating and let the game come to him a little bit more offensively.
He stayed afterwards for about 25 minutes practicing his shot, and you understand why. But how many?
70. 21 for 91.
That's insanity. By the way, say Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard. I can say it. Just slow it down. Just say Dame.
Dame Dollar.
Say Dame. Dame time.
Football is my first love. I sit here and think, well, if I wasn't playing football, what would I be doing? And I can't find an answer to that.
We don't know if they're the final seconds of the Patriots' career of Tom Brady. A pick 6.
Was that fitting? That's a tough one for Tom, too. After 20 years.
I just don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to predict it.
The future unclear for Tom Brady.
This is it for him, man. Thanks for a hell of a run.
The historical NFL playing field is figuratively littered with their shattered, bleached skeletons. Johnny Unitas of the San Diego Chargers. Joe Namath of the Los Angeles Rams. Joe Montana of the Kansas City Chiefs. Tom Brady, not of the New England Patriots. It's feasible. It may happen. We will know within the next 2 months, and we might as well start trying out the sound of possible new affiliations. Tom Brady of the Grey Cup champion Winnipeg Blue Bombers. No. Our Mike Reese now reviewing the realistic new landing spots.
Ready? Let's go.
Tom Brady, with a record 6 Super Bowl titles to go along with 3 NFL MVP awards and GOAT status, has rare free agent leverage, with freedom to choose his destination. But how many are truly realistic? With 32 possible destinations on Brady's list, let's start with the teams we can cross off first. Bills, Browns, Cardinals, Chiefs, Eagles, Falcons, 49ers, Giants, Jaguars, Jets, Lions, Packers, Rams, Ravens, Redskins, Seahawks, Steelers, Texans, Vikings. All crossed off the list. They all have their franchise quarterbacks, for better or worse. Include the Bengals too. They don't have their quarterback of the future yet. It should be Burrow over Brady. That's 20 teams eliminated, more than half the league.
Let's go!
The biggest splash of all would be Dallas, the game's biggest star of the last 20 years in Big D. With about $80 million in cap space, Jerry Jones wouldn't do it, would he? Re-signing Dak Prescott is a more likely scenario, so they'll likely tap out.
Good luck.
Good luck.
I'll see you later.
One of Brady's best pals is Peyton Manning, so let's create a Peyton's Places category. His former teams, the Colts and Broncos, could be in the short-term QB market. They both have plenty of cap space, north of $90 million for Indianapolis and $61 million for Denver. Brady a Colt? That would be something else.
Let's get the motors running now. Here we go, man. Let's go.
Here's a wild card, the Raiders. Their first year in Vegas, putting all their chips to the middle of the table. If the plan is to take the keys out of the car and hand them to someone else, it could make sense to pick number 12 in this game of quarterback roulette. Or maybe this story ends close to where it began. Brady grew up a 49ers fan, but as mentioned, they have Jimmy G. Yet a bit further south in LA, where the Chargers are moving into a new stadium and could benefit from a splash to sell tickets, could be a better fit. Phillip Rivers is a free agent, and Brady annually spends part of his offseason training in SoCal.
Hey, we ain't done, fellas!
7 teams to go, a touchdown's worth. But 4 don't seem to fit. The Saints can just bring back Drew Brees and Taysom Hill, or sign Teddy Bridgewater. Ditto for the Panthers with Cam Newton. Brady a Bear? They'd have to work some salary cap magic to even make it a possibility, with a projected $13 million in space, which is why it's remote. As for the Buccaneers, who have almost $85 million in cap space, Brady could bring them immediate relevance. But would he really want to play there? Tampa hasn't been to the playoffs since 2007.
Yeah!
Now to the high rollers. No team has more cap space than the Dolphins at $100 million, and their owner, Stephen Ross, has a notable connection to Brady. Both are proud University of Michigan alums. The Dolphins, under former Patriots assistant Brian Flores, might draft their quarterback of the future, but having Brady to bridge the gap is a compelling option. Helps them? Hurts a division rival. South Beach probably wouldn't be a hard sell to Giselle either. Nor would the Titans to Brady himself. Coach Mike Vrabel is one of his close friends. And what's the best way to play until you're 45? Rely on a power running game. And the Titans, flush with more than $55 million in cap space, might have the best in the NFL.
Lead us, 12!
That leaves one final team, the Patriots. Some, like owner Robert Kraft, hope and pray that's ultimately the only choice for Brady. Kraft might be all in, but is Bill Belichick? Let the chase begin.
So if Brady does book, he will rewrite the record book. Longest tenure with one club, 20, then goes to another club. The current holder is not Unitas nor Montana. It's Jim Hart, who joined the St. Louis Cardinals in 1966 alongside Charlie Johnson, played through 83, then went to the Redskins as the backup to Joe Theismann. NFL insider Dan Graziano is here. So there's this photo of Brady with Mark Davis of the Raiders at UFC 246, and it means nothing. But what would be a better start for the Las Vegas Raiders than Tom Brady? Is that at all feasible? And if not, what is?
Well, it's feasible, and I'm sure they're going to poke around and find out about it. You know, Derek Carr doesn't have guaranteed money left on his contract. They could move on to another option if they wanted to, and certainly trying to sell tickets in Vegas, you could do worse than put a headliner like Tom Brady there. Similar situation with the Los Angeles Chargers moving into a new stadium where they've had a hard time getting fans to come to their games since they moved to L.A. You know, they'll poke around on that with Phillip Rivers likely leaving. The place that makes the most sense is probably the Patriots, assuming they can add enough on offense to make sure it doesn't go as badly for him as it did this year. But my understanding is that the first thing Mike Reese said in that piece, Tom Brady is going to be a free agent, is the most important thing to keep in mind. He wants to hear offers from other teams, see what it's like to be a free agent, let the Patriots try and woo him back and go through that whole process. And I don't even think he knows how it's going to turn out just yet.
But what's he going to hear, Dan? Is the read around the NFL that one team is one Tom Brady away from winning? I'm expecting to get hit by lightning for saying bad things about both Derek Jeter and Tom Brady in the same show. But could Brady be viewed as over?
He could. He's going to be 43 when the next season starts, and he's coming off a year where he was way down all across the board in almost every category. Lowest completion percentage since 2013. You know, fewest yards in a full season since, I think, 2000. He's definitely showed signs of decline. The question is, if you're a team, can you convince yourself that it was the group around him and that he still has the ability to be great? If you're the Chargers, you know, he's got Mike Williams, he's got Keenan Allen, he's got Hunter Henry. We can protect him better. A team may sell themselves on that notion, and that may be where you see the market grow.
And that's why we signed Johnny Unitas. Dan Graziano on Tom Brady, the new quarterback of the new London, England Windsors. Thank you, Dan.
Still to come, Nolan Arenado's rocky future forecast, tracking the trade market for the game's best third baseman, who said If you didn't hear, he said he's been disrespected in Colorado. Plus, with 3 of college basketball's true blue bloods in action on ESPN tonight, what's at stake for Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, and the surprise team of the season so far?